Persona, amazing series. But let's not talk about that. Okay. Let's talk about No Man's Sky.
Okay, No Man's Sky.
This is the important part, right? Because we know a little information about Persona 5, but we're starting to find a lot of information about No Man's Sky this past week. More gameplay-wise, because everybody was being like, the concept is like incredible, but how's it going to be like as an actual game? At least that's what I thought, and I think a lot of people had the same thought process too.
I feel as though it's more like specifics. Like you got the base outline when they announced it. Like it was going to be an open world, procedurally generated universe that you travel planet to planet. You can discover planets. You kind of do your own thing and you trade and stuff. I feel like we know that all the whole time, but you kind of get into like how it's actually going to work and like the specifics of it, and it's like, wow, they're actually building this game. Yeah, they're building what Star Citizen wants to be. Except looks cooler and it'll hold up the test of time.
That's another thing about No Man's Sky. It looked so cool. Like it's not going for this like realistic presentation. It's very cartoony and it's very based on like a specific color palette. Like each planet, that from what I've seen, is either you go to a planet that's like all reds or like all greens or all blues. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's like that basic color pattern.
Yeah. So it's and you think that'd be like lame because you want these like extravagant like locations for like all these planets, but it looks so neat.
But the thing with video games are the things that always stand the test of time, the ones that look unique and not realistic. There's because you think about the PS2 days, and like we used to say, oh my god, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 look amazing, but you go back there and like if you play the originals, they're probably you're gonna play them and you're gonna be like, I can't really play this. Well, because that's a little bit different because it started trying to be cartoony.
Yeah, because Kingdom Hearts is cartoony.
But the same thing.
That's like on the edge.
Like I tried playing Final Fantasy VII once upon a time and I literally couldn't play it. It's like this is
Final Fantasy VII's presentation it doesn't age well. It doesn't hold up.
A lot of games from the beginning of the 3D era don't really age well. Yeah. That's why people don't really. When you ask someone what's your favorite game console, like it's usually Nintendo, because Nintendo, it was all 2D up until a point, and even when they did 3D, it was all like cartoony, like Super Mario 64 is super like unique in the way it looks. But no one ever says, oh, the original Xbox or PS1. Yeah. Maybe sometimes PS2, but not even, because it's just like you can't really play those games anymore.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Nintendo still nails. Like, like I'm pretty transparent about it. I don't like Nintendo that much. Right. I'm not a huge fan. Nothing like against them. I just feel like every year it's just like the same game, just like with tiny tweaks. But that's just my personal opinion. But the presentation to like all their games is so nice. Like Wind Waker. Yeah. Without the HD port that just came out, the old one for GameCube still looks fucking awesome. Like they know how to make their games look good. Like the Smash Bros. Wii U, like that looks. It's like the mix of like cartoony and kind of realistic at the same time. It looks so cool.
Well, that's a problem I heard about the new Twilight Princess remake, was that it doesn't really hold up very well. Because they try to go for the more gritty, realistic. Because Wind Waker, I'm sure most people know this, but Wind Waker, when it came out, was met with a lot of hate because people thought that they were going too cartoony and too childish with it. And eventually it became one of the series' most beloved entries, but people didn't like it when it came out at all. So Twilight Princess was like a remedy to that. They were like trying to appease like the gritty, hardcore fans of Zelda who wanted it to be really mature and adult. And now Twilight Princess hasn't aged well, and people don't look too fondly back on Twilight Princess. Like I think it's probably one of like the series out of the main entries, which like everyone holds all of them as gems. It's like one of like the least liked, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because I like Twilight Princess a lot.
Yeah,
I used to play it because you had it for the Wii.
Yeah,
I used to play it at your house all the time.
I never got very far in it.
I think I got farther than you did.
Probably. I got the HD remake, and it's on my humongous 40 list of backlog games that I need to play. I think I'm playing Wind Waker first. I have a whole. I think I told you I have like an order that I'm gonna go in so I actually play it.
It's gonna be exciting. But so like No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Have you been? Do you know what's going down? Like, with the gameplay
I read the impressions of it and like the specific details. I haven't watched anything, but I know like something I think is really interesting that is going to make it really hard for people to play together is the fact that the planets are actually distanced apart, like realistically. So it takes I think like 45 seconds to get from one planet to the other in the same solar system. So if that's spaced apart like that, and solar systems realistically, and this is getting in astronomy, are spaced super far apart, it's going to take a couple minutes or a couple, maybe even like 10 minutes, 20 minutes to get from one solar system to the other. So getting to one side of this universe, if it exists, the other side, if it's a finite thing, is going to take hours, days, weeks, months to get there, because you're not going to travel all at once. You're going to be like hopping.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if they're going to have a coordinate system, if they're going to have a way to get from one place to the other, like to know where your friends are, and if there's ever going to be able to get there, like if it's going to be like years from now, like 3 years after the game comes out, and you're like, I finally met up with you, we're on the same planet.
It would be cool if you could, like, if you mined like certain materials and you got the, you know, and you got like the skill to like create it, I guess. If you could make like a warp drive,
right,
and then you can plug in coordinates that you got from your buddy, and then you just like teleport right to them. Like that'd be cool.
The only way I can see that happening without breaking the game, because people will get that immediately, like they'll figure out a way, is if it's a warp drive, it'd have to be super incredibly hard to get, like really, really hard. If it's a teleporter, I could see it working if it was like a one-time use, like if you put your coordinates in, or if your friend needed to have another teleporter and you need to set it at the same frequency or something like that. Yeah. I could see something like that working, but just like a warp drive in general, we're trying to figure out a way to get past that space where I feel like they're kind of playing up as a huge important thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit tough because I feel like they're trying to keep like the discovery aspect of it intact for people who come in months or years later, and having a universe so big and so difficult to navigate in means that someone who's just starting could be in a place that no one's ever been in, even years after the games come out.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to get places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like that aspect, and the fact that you can name all the planets and species that you come across. It's really cool.
It's fucking this game is like, it's almost like hard to grasp the concept of. Like, I remember last year when they showed it at E3, you were talking about No Man's Sky, like they showed like little gameplays, like IGN had like the IGN first where they talked about it like, the whole month, but it wasn't until E3 where he's like, this is No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
And you had adorable little Sean Murray, who was like the cutest guy in the world. He's so, I'm just making this like game that is going to revolutionize games or whatever, but
he doesn't hold a candle to the guy who presented Unravel.
He was like shaking. He's like, this is my life's work.
Which is it's a good game.
Unravel's really good. But so E3 comes around and he picks up the controller and he zooms out and he's like, he keeps zooming out and the whole time my jaw's just like,
holy shit,
what is this? And then he's like, see all these dots? These are all stars. Every star is a solar system. Every solar system has planets. You can go to every single one of them. And I was like, see, if this is true, if this can happen, if this is like a real thing, if he's not just talking this up, if this is real, this is like incredible. It's like unbelievable. See, like how do you make that? It's so...
They've done a really good job about... When it first was announced, I think it was 2013, the VGNs. I was watching when it was announced. It was mind-blowing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, just that... I don't even think it was very descriptive. It was just like this video, and you were like, holy shit, that looks really awesome.
Yeah, and then you just have Sean Murray coming. I was like, this is the game we want to make.
Yeah.
It's called No Man's Sky. We want to make it so it's like procedurally generated universe. You can go to anywhere.
Yeah.
And everything's just like randomized. You go to all these planets, and everyone's just like...
You'll never reach the end.
Yeah.
And they've done a really good job at keeping the hype alive.
Yes.
It's like perfectly timed. Like I feel like from when they announced it to all their developer troubles, like the studio flooding, to them releasing little tidbits, everyone's been like, is this going to be as good as it gets? Is this going to be as good as it's supposed to be? Then they release a little bit of information. Everyone's really excited about it, and it dies down a little bit. They've done a really good job of keeping the hype train going.
Yeah.
But the problem with it is, there's three things that can happen when it comes out. Either it's going to be really disappointing and it's not at all what they promised.
Yeah.
It's going to blow everyone's minds. But there's a third thing. It's like, what if the game is exactly what you think it's going to be? It's going to be like, you're going to start playing it and you're going to be like, oh, they said that was going to be in it, and they said that was going to be in it, and nothing's new.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, I've already seen it all.
But that's the problem. It's going to be like, what they promised is so amazing and so fun to play, but you're going to be like, oh, they already talked about the aliens and the trading system. I thought one thing that I thought was really neat that they talked about was the whole faction system. Was like every alien. Did you hear about this?
Are you talking about like I think I know what you're talking about, but go into detail.
Every alien species you encounter, you're going to have a specific like
like how certain alien species are like the scientists of the.
Well, no, not even that. Like,
because I know that's a thing too.
There is that, like, classes, like each alien had like certain they'll be technologically better. But every alien species you encounter, you have a different like disposition with them. So if you do something to piss one alien species off, whenever you encounter them, they're gonna hate you.
Yeah, and you can like get into good graces with an alien species, or you can like fuck up your relationship with them.
When you go around to the planets the alien species are based on, you can find relics and like temples, and you can learn their languages so that when you talk to them, you'll better understand, because otherwise you won't understand what they're saying. And you can pick a dialogue option, because it's dialogue trees, I'm pretty sure, that's totally like you told them to go fuck their mother or whatever. Or if you pick the right one, they'll like you a little more and they'll give you like a fish or something like that.
It's cool, because like I was watching this gameplay. Well, it was the PlayStation Access channel. Like one guy played it and he's like going over his experiences, and the one thing he said was that where he was like flying around and he like came across this like weird like thing, and all these like words that are popping up, and like some would be in like weird alien language, but then like a couple would be in English. And those are like the right words. And then he came across like this thing where he got like the tree, like the dialogue tree, and he asked the developers like which one's the right answer. And he told them, so he picked it, and then he got like a really cool item based off it, and they were like in good graces, and they helped each other out later on.
Now I wonder,
really cool.
I wonder if like the languages are like randomized, like you learn a word, but you're not actually like, there's no like direct, like they didn't create a language, you know what I mean? Like I wonder if they created a language that you can like actually translate by yourself, or if it's all like code and like it just picks certain things and just puts that in, you know what I mean? Like one thing, it doesn't actually say anything, it's just a bad option, you know what I mean? I wonder how that's gonna work, but there's like so many questions about the game, and you're like, I can't wait to get my hands on this.
That's the thing. I think they're doing a good job, like what you said, of how like you could get the game and it could be exactly what you're expecting. Like I think they're doing a good job of like teasing you into it, like, all right, you can do this, but it's like, but it's kind of like we're showing you this, but there's so much more to experience that we're not showing you.
No Man's Sky is the game that I've wanted Minecraft to be since Minecraft came out. Because Minecraft is really fun, it's really addicting, and I love the fact that you can build whatever you want, and you get kind of crazy, and I get overwhelmed with that much creativity, but even I can create things that are really cool. But the main problem with Minecraft is there's nothing to go, you can see cool sights, but there's nothing to explore. There's no like mysteries of the world. And they've tried to add a couple of that stuff in, like they have added like the Nether and the End and the villages and stuff like that. But you're not going to go read a book about like a civilization that used to live there. You're not going to find an underwater city that's been damaged. There's no history to it, and I like No Man's Sky is doing that. Like it's going to be a game where are they going to have like building mechanics? I felt like
I think you can have crafting mechanics. I don't know about building.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
over that.
Are you going to be able to like build? Like that would be really cool if you can build like home base. Even if you're not building anything, like you pick like you can go buy like a house template, kind of like
it might not be building in the sense of like Minecraft where you get the blocks, and you might craft the house and then it just like gets placed down.
It's probably going to be more like Skyrim's. What was that DLC called? Their second DLC was like the house building stuff.
Yeah, where you can get like a family and stuff.
Yeah, it's probably going to be more like that, but if it's in there. But I hope it is, because otherwise you're just going to be traveling, and it's going to like you have to have a nice like what's the word, balance there. You have to be able to go back somewhere and build that up and see progress, as opposed to just flying around everywhere, but still explore. Like that'd be really cool if you like the first world you're on, or even like you pick like 3 worlds after that, like your home base.
That's,
you know what I mean?
I don't know how well that would like, I don't know how, I can't think of the word, like how plausible it would be to actually like make a home base, because from the video that I watched, the guy was like, there's no way to like retrace your steps. Like if you leave the planet, there's a really big chance you're not be able to get back to that planet.
I understand.
So,
but see, I would like it if there was like you could pick a beacon on one planet, and like that was the planet you always knew where it was, or like, you know what I mean? Like this is where the craft came from or whatever, and you can always find your way back there. But if you get stranded on a planet, or your ship blows up and you die and you get respawned in a space station, you have to find your way back. That would be really cool. Because otherwise it's just like, I feel as though you're just wandering around and you're meandering and you're discovering awesome new things, but there's never like a sense of like a location that you can always go back to. Like, and I feel like that's important for open world games. Like whenever you play Fallout or Skyrim, the developers try to put in like the home base, but you always find the one spot that you're always going to come back to, whether it's like your home in I can't remember any of the names in Skyrim cities.
Yeah,
like Whiterun or something like that. Or if it's Oblivion, it's the Imperial City. You have your houses, and everyone always centers around the one location. You need that because otherwise you're just wandering around and you don't have any place to drop your stuff off. You know what I mean? And I guess maybe your ship can be that, but from what I've seen and read, it feels like your ships can be blown up and you can lose them.
Yeah.
Which
because there's pirates in it. There's space pirates. They get to fight.
There's like a risk factor, but I want there to be like my ideal game is like No Man's Sky. What I want it to be is I want it to be like a universe simulator, it's partly that, but I want there to be like it'd be really cool if you can claim a home planet as your own, but like another player wants it and they can come and attack it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some aspect of that.
Yeah, because the game's all about like exploring, like continue finding shit. But it would be cool if there's like the option to like just like kind of buckle down and kind of just like mess around with the planet you're already on.
You get more variety, like because you will encounter other players because it's probably going to be a pretty popular game.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Especially at first release. So you're going to encounter other players, I imagine.
Yeah.
Unless they're lying about the shared universe thing.
Yeah.
Totally
Unless
possible.
It's not online. Yeah, it's totally possible that it's not online at all.
And they're just saying
have they said anything about it being online?
Yes. They have said that it's online, but you probably won't ever find your friends because of how big it is. But they could that could be
that could be like a weird like wording thing.
So, but if it is online,
that could be business speak.
You're going to find people, especially if it's one giant shared universe, one server.
Yeah.
I don't know how the logistics of that would pay off, but like you're going to find other people, and like if it's just this hack and that's it, but like there's like people play differently and there could be cool variety. Like one person like took all these pirate ships and have a pirate armada outside their planet, and it's like a heavily militarized like civilization that they've built over the course of a couple of years that they've been playing, and you encounter on this civilization entirely built up by people. It's like playing on a Minecraft server, but everyone who's playing Minecraft is playing on the same server. Like that's the ideal of this game for me, and I don't think they'd be able to pull it off like that. If they were going to do that,
awesome if they could.
It would be awesome. That's what I want. That's why I'm super interested in Star Citizen if it ever comes out.
Yeah.
But even then, I feel like they're kind of breaking that game up into like modules. Like there's a first-person shooter module. I want a game where you can just do all of it, which is kind of like maybe one day. I think it's only 2016. It's not like it's 2040 or whatever.
Yeah. Well, as of right now, No Man's Sky is your best bet.
Absolutely.
Like who's to say that everything you just mentioned is not in the game?
That's true.
It totally could be.
Which it just makes you really excited for it. Actually, I told you this, but I pre-ordered a PS4 after they did the whole gameplay thing, the Uncharted 4 PS4, and I'm super excited about Uncharted 4 because Uncharted is
fucking play.
Fantastic game series.
I played Uncharted 2 because you let me borrow it, and that's the only one
really
I played.
Good, right?
But I really did like it.
I have all three of the trilogy on my PS3. I'll probably be getting the collection when I get my PS4. I haven't played 3, but I'm super excited for 4 because Naughty Dog's great. I love Naughty Dog for a long time.
Naughty Dog makes great games.
Crash Bandicoot and
Jak and Daxter.
I actually never really played Jak and Daxter.
Jak and Daxter's my shit.
But it's a good game. So I'm really, really excited. I just hope that it meets my expectations, and even if it doesn't, I hope it does cool things that we're not expecting it to do.
Well, there's already like cool things that they mentioned that I had like no idea were going to be in the game, because like we talked about, there's like they haven't really talked about gameplay stuff. It's just like stuff they want to do. It's like, oh, you can explore all this crazy shit. You can see aliens and you can like shoot stuff, and then the Sentinels will come and like try to arrest you, and if you like resist it, then they'll start shooting you and then you'll die. But like the stuff that like they showed, like that one gameplay thing that I watched, it's like you can start shooting around like on your ship. Like you can like get upgrades for your ship and like fly around the planet, and you can like kill aliens that way. Or you can, and on the chance that you're gonna like leave orbit and try to go to another planet and you run into space pirates, you can like fight them as well. It's like all this crazy stuff that it's like that like they kind of hint at, but now they're actually like going into, and it's like it's almost like there's endless possibilities to like what you can do in this game.
That's what I hope there is, because like wouldn't it be so cool if like you're arrested on one planet and you have to break out of a space jail and jump into your ship they've impounded, and you go to another planet and it's still held by the same alien race, and they have like wanted pictures up or like they'll like you're like they're alert to your presence, they know that you escaped, but you go to another planet and it's a different empire and they don't care
and they help you out.
It'd be so cool. I don't know how they could do that with the procedure generated thing and the AI in the game. I don't know how
it depends on like
they are.
How many different AIs they made, I guess. Right?
Yeah, but like that's what I hope it is. And even if I hope it's a game that is supported for a while. I hope it's the Minecraft route.
Well, Sean Murray said that he wants to support the game like long after it's released.
Like iterations.
So he's going to keep like making shit for it.
I don't ever want there to be like these kind of games. I don't think you can ever really make a sequel. There shouldn't ever be a Minecraft. There should be
add-ons.
There shouldn't ever be.
Hopefully free.
There should never be, even if it's not free.
Even if like they're big enough, yeah. But if there's like tiny like stuff, like it shouldn't be stuff you have to pay for.
But it should always.
But they shouldn't make add-ons.
These kind of games, like there's no point. It's like. Why would you even think about Destiny 2? Why wouldn't you just keep adding stuff onto that base game so the player base is still there?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand that because
that's because it's Activision.
It's like World of Warcraft. But they own World of Warcraft too. Blizzard and Activision are the same company. They understand that they just release expansions and people buy them because it's just another part of the game. You're essentially buying an entirely new game, but you're not marketing it as World of Warcraft 2. You're marketing it as an add-on to World of Warcraft, and the whole game changes regardless of whether or not you buy that add-on. Like when Cataclysm happened in like 2010, the entire world changed, and when you updated the game, you saw those changes in the game. Regardless of whether or not you're a new player, if you're an old player, if you bought the expansion or not, you saw those changes happen. You can only get access to certain areas if you bought the expansion, but it's like that core player base just keeps. I think it's shrunk for World of Warcraft because it's so old, but it just keeps growing if you just keep adding things to it.
Yeah.
As opposed to No Man's Sky 2 or Destiny 2, all you're doing is you're taking a chunk of players from Destiny and you're putting them in Destiny 2. There's some players who won't
spend another $60.
Well, then you have two separate fan bases. Like there are people who never stop playing Halo 2, which is I understand for like I understand for back then and for like a shooter game, but I feel as though we should move towards like a move towards if you want a franchise with a big multiplayer component, the multiplayer component should stay the same and should iterate. And like let's say Halo, like Halo 5 Guardians, the multiplayer in that, they rename that to Halo Online, like GTA Online.
Yeah.
And so when the next Halo game comes out, Halo 6, you just add is like an add-on to the multiplayer. It's like a full standalone single-player game, but in the multiplayer sense, it's like a full like expansion pack that you buy. You know what I mean? And it'll update the game experience, but you still have the same core online base there. Yeah. Like it's like a Warcraft thing. Because then you're not isolating one chunk of the population who only likes Halo 5 or doesn't want to move on to Halo 6 or doesn't have the money to buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think like that's what the ideal should be, but everyone just thinks, oh, we should sell more copies. Why would people buy Halo 6 if they can still access the multiplayer of Halo 5 and play with people on Halo 6? It's like because you make it enticing. You say, oh, you can get this new awesome Covenant vehicle if you buy Halo 6 or some not like that, or like new maps. Like 16 new maps that you can only play in if you buy Halo 6, which isolates a part of the population anyway. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I completely agree with you, and I felt that way more towards like sports games and stuff like that because they release a new sports game every fucking year, and it's like it's always the same game just with an updated roster. And what they could do is just make, instead of MLB The Show 15 or 16 or whatever, just make MLB The Show and then just make. Like every year, just add new characters that like cost like $20 or something like that.
See, and this is like a way like I totally differ from most of the video game industry, and I think microtransactions are a great thing as long as they're not game breaking. Like you shouldn't be able to buy extra lives in a multiplayer game. You shouldn't be able to buy better guns, but like you want to buy the new maps that came out. You want to buy like new characters. So those are really microtransactions essentially.
Yeah.
Because you're not buying a full game. But I think that's a great idea because then you keep that core base there and you just add things over time that people have to pay for, and that's how you make your money. Like Madden comes out and every single year the updated roster comes out and you have to pay $20 for it. But you can still play like people who get Madden one year have that roster and they can still play with someone who has the updated roster, but they don't have that roster. You know, it's different. You know what I mean? Like that's a perfect idea, and I don't know why they wouldn't do this because they could sell. I think like they could sell more things that way.
Yeah.
And it creates a base. It creates a fan base. It's like if they put a TV show on a different channel every year that you had to pay for. They created like Arrow was its own TV channel, and they showed Arrow season 1, and then Arrow 2 was the second channel. You know what I mean? Could you imagine that? It would be ridiculous.
That'd be awful.
Yeah. Or it's like you had to pay like movies. You can't really. There's not really a
thing for movies.
There's not really like because it's more of a serialized thing.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't like. I feel like Minecraft and stuff similar to Minecraft, like Terraria or Starbound or No Man's Sky coming out, they kind of had like the good idea, like the MMO kind of standpoint, like release expansions, release updates, but you keep your player base the same.
And, well, the cool thing about No Man's Sky is, like, theoretically, they can't make a sequel because, like, what would they do? Just make just make a bigger universe? Like, can you do that? Like, so they could just release add-ons or something like that where you get like. That'd be cool if they could release themes, like you could wander off the planets that are themed like medieval or whatever. Yeah. And it's still like kind of futuristic in a way.
That would actually be really cool.
That would be awesome.
Like sections of the universe would come out and you'd pay to get in there, but it's like different themes, like medieval or futuristic. Yeah. That would be really interesting. Be neat. But it's the same thing. Like, what would Minecraft 2 look like? Yeah. What would it look like? What could they do? Because they couldn't do anything. They keep adding things in the updates. Like they just did a huge combat update where it actually like combat has like. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like interesting in detail now. Like holding in the attack button gives you different attacks. Each weapon have different attacks to it. Like swords are like medium speed and like medium strength. Axes are strong but really slow. Hoes are really weak but really fast. Stuff like that. You have shields now, different mobs, and they keep adding these things in there. It's like Minecraft 2 would literally just be Minecraft but with different things. They have to take out everything, and they're never going to do that because then people will stop buying Minecraft. They buy Minecraft 2. And then you couldn't have the most popular game of all time anymore. Exactly. It's like these metrics, they don't really matter, but they matter to the executives. Why wouldn't they want to just keep that in there? Why is Destiny 2 even a fucking... I don't even play Destiny.
Because they just care about money. They don't care about what the gamers
But they can make the same amount of money or more.
But that's not what they're thinking. They're just thinking, let's make a new game. People will buy it. Another $60.
I guess so. I don't know. Like, I don't play Destiny.
You don't need a Destiny 2. The perfect example is... with the Taken King. The Taken King was like a huge expansion, and it totally revamped so many things, and it made it better.
But even then, it was like you were essentially buying another game.
It was like, the Taken King was in $60 though.
It was
like
$40.
You could get it.
Well, you can get $60 and you get the base game, the Taken King. Yeah. And two things. But if you just bought... Could you just buy the Taken King expansion, or do you need the base game?
I'm pretty sure you could. No, you would need Destiny, and then you could buy the Taken King.
Because I don't actually play DLC Destiny.
I'm pretty sure that's how it went. What I did was I traded in the original Destiny, and then I bought the Destiny the King with all the other DLC.
I immediately stopped becoming interested in Destiny when I found out it wasn't open world. It was like hubs.
It's all right.
I'm not into that. It's either just give me like a linear experience or give me an open world or like something similar to open world, you know? Yeah. Like that's why The Division kind of held my interest for a while, which comes out Tuesday, by the way. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I'm going to get it just because it has the same issues that Destiny has, and I don't know how big the player base is going to be. And those kind of games, you definitely need something to hook you in, or you need someone to play with. Yeah. Like World of Warcraft, when I played that, and I sunk a lot of hours into that, it was only because of the people I played with. It had nothing to do with the hook. Yeah. Like I couldn't play that on my own. The Division, it would be the same thing, I think. Like, it would be cool at first, but I would just kind of get out of it. No Man's Sky, I would play just because I would really want to play it.
Yeah, No Man's Sky, it's like a whole other level of, like, interesting.
That like, I've looked into games similar to that, like Star Citizen or, that one, there's another one that's, like, on Xbox and everything like that. It's, like, a similar experience, and they don't have everything I want, and they don't have a hook. I would need someone to play with, but even then, I'm interested in like this open universe, like space sim. That's like my kind of game, which they haven't really made.
Yeah, hopefully this will be it.
Hopefully, I'm super excited for it. Like, I didn't pre-order the collector's edition, but
oh yeah, there's going to be a collector's edition that comes with like the spaceship or whatever.
There's two. There's the limited edition. I don't know if GameStop's the only one selling it because I couldn't find it on Amazon. But it comes with a steel book. It comes with an art book, the soundtrack, I think. Yeah. It comes with a bunch of shit. Some themes.
There's going to be also a physical release. It's not just going to be DLC. You can actually go to a GameStop and buy.
Yeah, that's what I have the physical release pre-order on Amazon.
That got me really excited because, as we talked about in the previous Soup and Pasta podcast.
Speaking of which,
I like physical copies.
When we're done with this conversation, I have something else that speaking of physical releases, that I need your opinion on.
Right, sweet. Over here. We can end up this topic pretty soon. Just want to say, No Man's Sky. We're really excited about it.
Absolutely.
If you are excited about it, be sure to share your thoughts and what could be in this game. Like, there could be so many things in this game. Like, how do you know that you're not going to be like flying around the universe and you come across like some crazy like deity of a god that's like in this universe like that? Yeah. It's going to be so cool. There's so many possibilities. Let us know what you think.
They just need to.
It's going to be fucking awesome.
They need to deliver. They need to deliver on the endless possibility. like aspect of that. They need to not give us exactly what they said they're going to give us. They need to give us more. They need to put things in there that no one ever expected.
There's a thing, the final thing we can and then we can just jump onto something else because we've been talking about this for a while. But that just goes to show how good No Man's Sky looks. In that video I watched, the guy was playing, and as he was leaving orbit, Sean Murray was like, "Yo, wait, check this out. This is like my favorite part. I love showing this to people." And what it was the guy went out of orbit, and then he turned around, looked at that planet, and he's like, "You see, like these 2 pixels? That was like the 2 hours of you wandering around. It's like these are full-size planets." And then Sean Murray was like, "There's like 99.999 of like the universe that we created that people won't ever explore." Yeah, it's like this game is so like it's so hard to like fathom that it's a thing. It's like
is that I mean that's
not. I'm saying like if it's like it's full speculation, but if it's true and so far it's been proven to be true from like what people have played and like all the hands-on stuff, it's gonna be great. No Man's Sky looks amazing, and I can't wait for it. Third most anticipated game of the year, coming out June 21st.
Third most anticipated game of the year, end of all time.
End of all time. Come out June 21st. Get it, No Man's Sky.